today's lesson is an advanced lesson, and I know that everybody's English in the class is pretty high, so that's fantastic. Today's lesson will be a little bit more difficult than some of the other lessons, but don't worry. If it's difficult, that's okay. That's not a problem. That's a good thing. So actually, I hope that everybody had a chance to watch the video. As always, please watch the video before class because that will really help you in the lesson. And in fact, the class is structured in order to practice the material from the video the day before. So it's a sequence, and again, watching the video will really help you, but if you didn't have a chance to watch it, no worries. You can still participate in class today. So the warm-up is a speaking activity, and I'm just going to ask questions to people. So the first question number one, there's two parts. Do you think apps like Duolingo enhance your English? What's the best method to enhance your language skills? So this is an opinion question. I'll start with Mohammed. Mohammed, do you think apps like Duolingo enhance your English?
Yes, I think apps like Duolingo enhance my English.
Okay. So what's the best method to enhance your language skills? Is it an app like Duolingo? Is it a book? Is it watching Netflix? What's the best method to enhance your skills?
I think my best method to enhance my skills is having class.
Having class. Good. Excellent. An excellent use of the gerund, right? One thing is, of course, we're warming up, but the goal is, of course, to use the vocabulary in your answer. There's a reason for that. It's because you need to interact with a word 6 times. Actually, I'll put that on the whiteboard so that we can write it down later. So one way that you acquire language, one way to acquire language is by interacting with the word 6 times. So you must interact with a word 6 times, right? 6 times to learn it. So that means that you need to see it, you need to say it, you need to listen to it, but especially writing and speaking. So if you just hear the word and you never say or use the word, you're never going to learn and retain that vocabulary. So very, very good job on the first question, but never forget that the goal of these activities is to produce the target language, is basically to say the vocabulary. Okay, great job. So Mohammed, question number 2. What is one innovation that has started since the pandemic began in March? What's one innovation that has started?
Innovation in my life, or
Sure, it can be an innovation that you personally have made, or an innovation from businesses, or an innovation from government, any kind of innovation.
I think no innovation that has started since the pandemic.
Because previously I had a lot of difficulty to learn on English or online classes, and now I think I'm getting using to this kind of way of learning by online classes.
Okay, great. Yeah, fantastic example. One very small thing I would say, a lot of difficulty learning in online classes rather than a lot of difficulty to learn in online classes. Using this gerund here, Luciana, it just sounds so natural, and this is how we tend to speak.
Okay.
But okay, number 3. A person approaches you in your city. They are a foreign traveler and don't speak your language very well. They need directions to the police station downtown. How would you convey the information to them? Okay, Mohammed, start us off. How would you convey the information to them?
For me, a person like that, I would
Convey?
convey the information to them by what do we say when
By gesturing.
just
Gesturing.
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 Oh, gesturing. Yes.
Yeah.
Or I pick him up to police station.
Oh, okay. Just drive him?
Yes.
Okay. That's how you'd convey that information. Okay. Good. Good, Mohammed. Paola, how about you? There is a foreign traveler in your city. You do not have a common language. They need to go to the police station, though. How would you convey the information to them?
I'd convey the information by drawing a map or also gesturing.
Wow.
Or the last thing to get a person to understand him, maybe.
Good, yeah, good. I'm a big believer in starting the material by not explaining it. I'll explain later, but most of the time, people can understand by the context and by how it is presented. But I do believe in doing a little bit of practice, fill in the blank. Fill in the blank is a basic grammar exercise. I mean, it helps, but it's not the main goal in the class, in my opinion. But a little practice with multiple choice or fill in the blank is okay. So, okay, practice. Number 1, complete the sentence with the correct form of the word in parentheses. So how about number 1? Just raise your hand if you like to contribute something here or answer the question. Number 1, blank English is difficult during a pandemic. Okay, Spring, thanks for raising your hand. You're very good at that. What do you think, Spring? Oh, we have to unmute you. Sorry, Spring. So number 1, what's the answer? What do you think?
Acquiring English is difficult during a pandemic.
Exactly. Acquiring, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. We use the gerund as a subject. It's very, very common in English. This is the natural way to speak. If you say to acquire English is difficult during a pandemic, I mean, it's not incorrect. I understand you, but it just sounds unnatural to me and to other English speakers. So great job, Spring. Yes, and this is something that I am focusing on for the last couple weeks is the use of gerunds. They're so common in English. So nice job, Spring. Okay, number 2. It can be quite difficult, blank, information to someone who doesn't speak the same language as you. Do I have any volunteers to answer? Well, okay. Yeah, Mohammed, sure.
It can be quite difficult to convey information to someone who doesn't speak the same language as you.
That's great. That is correct. Can anybody think of one more thing that they could say?
Conveys.
That's not, yeah, unfortunately not, but there is,
Conveying.
yeah, exactly, right? Or conveying, that is correct. Thank you, Paula. It can be quite difficult conveying information to someone who doesn't speak the same language as you. It can be quite difficult to convey information to someone who doesn't speak the same language as you. Those are both correct. And really, I mean, like, I keep saying it because it's so important. The use of gerunds, verb plus ing in English, is critical, and it's really common and really natural. So excellent job. Number 3, everyone blank reality differently. Any volunteers to try? If you're wrong, there's no penalty, don't worry.
Everybody perceiving reality differently.
Well,
Perceive.
Everybody perceives.
yeah,
Perceive.
I'm gonna go with perceives, right? Why not perceiving? Well, to have perceiving here, it needs to be in the context of a verb, right? So think, I always go back to this: subject plus verb plus object. This is the most fundamental concept of English. The subject is everybody. Reality is the object. That means that this word is a verb here. So we cannot use a gerund as a verb. You would need there to be an auxiliary verb for the present continuous. And a gerund is a subject or an object. So I know that like this, there cannot be a gerund in the middle. I could, if you see this auxiliary verb, you have verb plus ing. But if you do not have that auxiliary verb, it's just it's the simple present. Everybody perceives reality differently. So never forget, it's always about the context, and in this case, subject, verb, object. So great job. That was a great opportunity to learn. So yeah, that was a great example. So thank you everybody who contributed to that one. Number 4. Curbside pickup at retail stores is a new way companies are blank during the global pandemic. So I'll give you a hint. You now see this auxiliary verb here, so that should give you a hint.Maybe Luciana, it's your first class, but Luciana, can you try to answer this one for us?
Oh God. In a way, companies are innovating.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly,
Okay.
right? So when you see this auxiliary verb here, you know it's a big hint that we're gonna have verb plus ing. Present continuous. Present continuous is happening right now. The pandemic is happening right now. Innovation is happening right now. So there are context clues that Luciana correctly observed, and she did make the sentence correctly. Curbside pickup at retail stores is a new way companies are innovating during the global pandemic. Fantastic job. And now number 5. My goal for the pandemic is blank my language capabilities.
Is to enhance my language capabilities.
Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. And there is one more option.
Enhancing.
Yeah, good. My goal for the pandemic is enhancing my language capabilities, right? So both of these are correct. I hope you start to notice patterns. I know that Jessica, she was correct. She learned, and she learned from her mistake, and she recognized the pattern of using this gerund, and she got it correct. That's really important. So here we see a chart, and this chart is my way of knowing if you understand the vocabulary or not. This is something that you need to be able to do, or else you cannot really get to the advanced level. So there's the base verb, simple past, third person singular in the present tense, gerund, noun, and synonyms. So let's start with number 1, and you can just say it if you know it. The base verb here is enhance. Who knows the simple past?
Enhanced.
Exactly. Okay, what's the third person singular in the present tense?
Enhances.
Enhance.
Enhances.
Enhances. Yeah, what's the gerund?
Enhancing.
Exactly. Enhancing is the gerund. What's the noun?
I think
Enhance.
I think it's the same. Enhancing. No?
Yes, if a gerund is used as a noun, the gerund is a noun, but there is one more noun version that is not a gerund.
Enhancer.
Enhancement.
Yeah,
Enhan-
enhancement. What is a synonym for enhance?
Improve.
Improve, yeah. Develop. You can just say become better at something, right? So you should be able to do this not only for easy verbs, but for advanced verbs, right? This is critical to understanding vocabulary. Too many students translate the word and try to memorize. Translate and memorize. But translating and memorizing is not the best method to learn. It's not efficient, and it's just based on memorization. It's not based on understanding, right? Okay, so I don't have a base verb here. All I have is a noun. Conveyance or conveyor? What's the base verb?
Convey.
Convey.
Yeah.
What's the simple past?
Conveyed. Conveyed.
Conveyed.
Conveyed.
Conveyed.
Conveyed, yeah.
Yeah.
Third person singular in the present tense.
Conveys.
Gerund.
Conveying.
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 Synonym. Synonyms.
Transfer.
Stream.
I heard someone say transfer. Yeah, I like that.
Transfer.
Yeah, that's good. What's another one that starts with trans? Transport. What's another synonym? The best synonym for convey?
Transmit.
Get or
Transmit, yes.
no.
Communicate.
Communicate. Yeah, communicate is the most basic synonym for convey. So this is the process, right? The process is what's important here, that you can understand all the forms of the verb and that you understand the context in which they're used. Third person singular innovates. What's the base verb?
Innovate.
Innovate.
Simple past.
Innovated.
Innovated.
Innovated. Regular verb.
Gerund.
Innovating.
Innovating.
Noun.
Innovation.
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 Synonyms.
Develop or
Yeah, develop, create something new, evolve, right? That's innovation. But what's the root word here? What's the root word in innovate?
Nova.
Nova comes
New.
from
New.
Latin, meaning new.
New.
Exactly,
New.
right? So
Mm,
if you don't know this word, but you understand the root word, then you can understand the meaning. That's understanding the vocabulary. If you just translate it, it's not an efficient way. Okay, the synonyms: obtain, achieve, buy, get. What's the base verb?
Acquire. No.
Good. You're 100. Oh,
but it's below.
oh, did I might have made a little miss. So
Oh,
exactly. Acquire, acquired, acquires, acquiring, acquisition. Of course, the synonyms are obtain, achieve, buy, or just to get. Okay, simple past, perceived. What's the base verb?
Perceive.
Perceive.
Yep. What's the third person singular?
Perceives.
Perceive.
Perceives.
The gerund.
Perceiving.
Perceiving.
Good. Noun.
Perception.
Persistation or perception.
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 Yeah, remember, some are irregular. What are some synonyms?
Notice.
Aware.
Could
Ooh,
be
okay.
feel.
Wow, to notice. I like that one. Good. Or maybe to realize, become aware of. But let me show you something. Maybe I don't know the word. I don't know every single word in English. Here's what I do. I go to Google and just Google the word plus definition. Okay, here's my method. Perceive. As a verb, oh wow, and it gives you similar words. It gives you all of the synonyms. It gives you the definitions. It gives you the origin language. It breaks down the word into parts. It tells you how often the word is used, and then it gives you links. So again, don't just translate the word in the beginning. Only translate if you follow the method and you still have no idea what it means. But just a few things before class is finished, and thank you everybody for coming today. So just a few things, things that I always talk about. So first of all, try to understand rather than memorize. That's so important. Memorization is not the best way. Always remember the basic form, the basic thing that you must do. Subject plus verb plus object. Perceive is the pronunciation, and I'll let you ask questions at the end. Subject, verb, object. This is the most critical thing to understand because words and language are arbitrary. The same word can be a noun, an adjective, or a verb depending on the context of the sentence, right? So when you see vocabulary words you do not understand, the biggest mistake you can make is translating it. If you just translate every word you do not know first thing, you're never going to, it's just an inefficient, it's a bad method for learning. So when you see a word you don't know, you look at the context of the sentence. Is this word a noun? Is this word a verb? Is this word an adjective? What is it? Then you analyze the word. Prefix, suffix, root word, origin, right? You're trying to figure out the vocabulary. Then you use an English to English dictionary or thesaurus. It's very important that you start by using an English to English dictionary. If you have a teacher or someone who speaks fluently, then you should ask them a question. What does this word mean? And then they should respond to you in English. If you do all of that and you still don't understand, then you can translate. Finally, you can translate. But if you make translation the first step, it's not a good way to learn, and it's not a good way to develop your language. If you notice, I did not tell you the definition of these words today. I think most of you understand the words, even though I didn't give you the definition. The definition is in the video. So if you want the definition of these words, you can go and find it in the video or in a dictionary, but most of you understood the vocabulary just by seeing it in context and by listening to other students use it properly. So that's basically the end of class today. As always, at the end of class, I do allow people to ask questions and to speak and to talk openly. So we have some new students and I want them to introduce themselves. But first, if you want to do it, I will offer you a chance to practice writing. I will give you a chance to practice your writing. If you want to answer this question by writing a response, you can email it to me and I will edit and correct your writing. So here is the prompt. What's your method of acquiring English? How can you continue enhancing your English during lockdown? So if you want to practice the vocabulary today, practice your writing, you can write an answer to these questions. You can email it to me. My email is jonathanteacherenglish@gmail.com. If you write a paragraph or write an essay, I will correct your writing and I will send you the corrections back so you can see your mistakes, so you can see how to improve. That's your choice. If you want to do this, you can. If you don't want to do this, no worries. And